Hi there. I want to talk about the third book in the Reckless series from Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips. This is a book I picked up digitally because I'm waiting for a deluxe version to come out. I'm quite certain there will be a deluxe version, as they've done at least 3 books worth of material now, which is enough for Image to put together one. And also I don't see why they would miss out on that massive cash cow for collectors as well, because they do so well with all their other books having sold out that they've had in the deluxe format. This book gives you more of the backstory of Anna, his assistant, and how their relationship came to be. And it also has the main character looking into a corrupt businessman, politician, and things don't necessarily go to plan. It's a fun read. Let's have a look at the artwork and the story and talk more about that, and then we'll have a little wrap up at the end. Okay, so this is the book. You've got Ethan starting off with a cold open where his movie theatre is on fire. He's worried about Anna, his assistant, being in there. You've got some narration going over the top, which I won't discuss too much, but he gets conked over the head, and then you get a 4 months earlier flashback. You see that there's a little bit of an issue between him and Anna, and he thinks back to how they first met, and you find out her background story, which I won't discuss here because again, you should read the book. It's a nice read, but you get their flashback. You see how they bond, how they meet up, how he becomes best friends with her, and how they help support each other. But the issue is, as she gets older and more comfortable, she begins to want to grow and move away, and obviously Ethan's not necessarily made that way. He's not made to be able to cope with that kind of change in relationships, for reasons you would be aware of if you read the earlier books. So he tries to make it up to her by buying her a copy of a film she likes, and goes to a party, feels out of place, and then eventually decides he's going to take a job that he was putting off. And this job is a councilman who wants revenge on a big businessman who diddled his dad out of a business deal and subsequently caused him to have a heart attack and die. Ethan takes on the job. It's a good payer, but he's already getting harassed by police who are in the businessman's pocket, and he knows that he probably is going to get in too deep and shouldn't have done this. You see at the same time him trying to patch things up with Anna, and they go and they surveil these people, and you have the story unfold. It's got this excellent artwork, drawn and coloured brilliantly by father and son team of the Phillips, and it just really uses the space and the paper well. If you look here, it's not just confined to these borders. When it needs to be a wide shot, they give you a wide shot. When it needs to come into the corners, it comes into the corners. A lot of the time you think these borders are there because they're trying to save on paper, or printing rather, and they're not. They're just used constructively. The team, Ethan and Anna, things get out of control quite fast, and whilst they stop the businessman, it doesn't quite go the way they wanted it to, and things end on a sour note, let's say. I'm going to stop there because I don't want to go any further, but the story escalates towards the end, as you might expect, because we started on his theatre on fire and some bloke conked him over the head. And whilst there is an ending, and obviously characters are still alive because there's got to be more books, you do find that there's an ominous tone for Anna at the end, and you see that there is a reason these stories are getting retold to you, and this is a spoiler now. It's because Ethan is writing them as an old guy living in his beach house. What happens between now and then, I suppose we've just got to keep reading and find out, but it's an excellent book. It's totally worth getting. Okay, so that was the book. I really enjoyed the story, really love this series, can't wait for more. I think the next one's out in April in 2022. The only issue I probably have is that it seems to be jumping forward in time quite fast. We're already at 1988, and I assume that the next story will be set in the early 90s. Look, Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips know what they're doing. Not going to start questioning that. It's just I would have liked to see more in that era. I'm sure he had other adventures in that time frame. And there's nothing stopping us from going back and looking at it. But this just feels like a series that is ploughing forwards. Let me know what you think about the book. Are you waiting for a deluxe edition to come out like I am? And please feel free to like and subscribe. It does help. And thanks for watching.